Hello everybody, this is Buckley. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to use Qualtrics to analyze your survey data. This is going to save you a lot of time on activity 3, so I strongly recommend that everybody watches this and re-watches it to see kind of what I'm doing here. You should also feel free to explore, right? So part of this class is also kind of figuring out stuff on your own, and this is a great software package. You can use it for a lot of stuff. You can continue to use it as a student for free, this pretty powerful survey software package. Okay, so I am in my Qualtrics account right now, and we've been using this water bottle example, okay? And we just saw in a previous tutorial how I designed this water bottle example survey and launched it. So we're going to pretend that 533 people completed the survey. Actually, 533 people did complete it. This was from Engineering 101 2 years ago at this point, okay? So this is real data. First thing I'm going to do before I start to analyze data is I'm actually going to, I'm going to close my survey. Okay, this is very important. So right now you can see that this survey is active. These surveys that are grayed out down here are closed. So I'm going to close my survey. I've got plenty of responses. Okay, it's going to tell me, give me some options. New survey sessions cannot be started. Close all active survey sessions and record them as partial data. Okay, or it'll allow you to keep it partially open. Basically, if people still haven't finished, if they're in the middle of typing something, it'll let them finish before it closes out. I'm going to assume that we're past our deadline and everybody's done what they've done. So I'm going to close it all out. Okay. All right. So my survey is now closed. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click into the survey and I'm going to go to data and analysis. All right, there are two things I want to show you. Okay, first is I'm going to show you how you can get data out of Qualtrics and analyze it in programs like Microsoft Excel. So I've also posted a Microsoft Excel tutorial. So you can always pull the data out of Qualtrics and choose to do your own analysis using some different software. You don't need to use Qualtrics to do the data analysis if you don't want, okay? We have a lot of data, right? So there's 27 pages of data. This is individual responses. So what you see here is somebody, on September 14th, 2017 at 5:08 p.m. Oh, wait, that was me. Okay, that was me from the example. Let's say September 24th, 2015 at 10:08 p.m., a freshman logged in and responded. This is going to go on and on and on. This is all the responses. Okay, these questions go on. Okay, so you can see individually who actually responded. Okay, there's no names or anything, but it'll give you a timestamp that when the survey was completed. So one thing that you can do is you can export the data. So I'm going to take every one of these and export it. So basically, every time somebody responded, it's going to create a line in the log. Okay. Export data gives me options. I always download data table. The format that Microsoft Excel can read right away is called a CSV, comma separated variable. I typically use text instead of numerical values. So Qualtrics has an internal, it'll have a default value that it'll assign to certain options. So I typically want to see the text. Okay, and then I hit download. And a file is going to pop up on my desktop in a second. Okay, and I'm going to just go ahead and open this file with Microsoft Excel. And oh my God, here's what it looks like. All right, so welcome to raw data. All right, this is just a mess. Okay, a mess. All right, so you can see that Qualtrics, doing something not on Excel might be helpful, right? So I'm going to show you how to use Qualtrics to analyze some data. You can include Qualtrics figures, so the graphs that are made in Qualtrics directly in your Activity 3 report. They don't have all of the graph options. You don't have all the formatting options. You might want to do different measures. You might want to manipulate the data a little bit, meaning, do some calculations. Qualtrics won't do all of that, so there are times when you want to download the data, but recognize that it's going to give you a lot of data, okay, a lot of data. So this here is all the timestamp stuff. You can see the IP address that people used. Okay, so Big Brother is watching here. All right, so that's how you get data out of Qualtrics should you want to do the analysis on Excel, okay? All right, but let's say I don't want to do the analysis on Excel. I'm going to listen to Buckley, and I'm going to actually do my report. So here's the example report that I gave you. The figures and the tables that are in this example report for activity 3, okay, these were generated in Qualtrics. So we just pulled these straight out of Qualtrics, okay? Actually from the data set that I'm using right now. All right, so to have Qualtrics do some analysis, I'm going to go to reports. Okay, and Qualtrics takes a guess at what I want to see in a report. It's pretty smart, all right? This is what you're paying for when you pay for this highfalutin software. All right, so first thing it's going to do, so it's going question by question, okay? And let's start with, how would you classify yourself as a member of the UD community, all right? So I got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors, graduate students, faculty, or staff. You can see the number of people that responded in each of these categories, and it was smart, and it already calculated the percentage of the total respondents, right? So that's pretty cool. If I want to see this in a different way, maybe I want to see it as a pie chart, I would add a visualization. Right now it's giving me a bar chart. I'm going to be like, no, I don't want a bar chart, all right? I want a pie chart. So here's a pie chart. It's like a donut chart. It's more like a donut, not a pie, but I could change the radius. I can play with the formatting a little bit to give myself a pie. Okay, and it's giving me some options in terms of formatting, all right? And it's showing it as percentages. If I don't want it as percentages, if I want raw numbers, I would click on that there. Okay, so you can kind of explore what your options are. What it doesn't give you a lot of options for is how this looks, right? So in Excel, I can change the size of these and do all this kind of stuff. I really can't do too much of that here in Qualtrics. All right, so let's look at this guy. All right, what non-alcoholic beverages do you consume on a daily basis? And we've got people being able to select multiple, right? So on a daily basis, I'm going to drink water and coffee, okay? And maybe something else. So the percentages here can total more than 100. So if you add up all of these, right, the percent is actually going to be more than 100, which is kind of interesting. So a pie chart isn't going to work for us because pie charts only work when people have one choice, right? If they can choose multiple responses, a pie chart is going to be pretty much nonsensical. So when I add a visualization here, my only option really is a bar chart. All right, and there are a couple things I can do. Okay, so first off, the bar chart that's coming out gives me the total number of people that responded. I don't really care about that, right? What I want is the percentage of people who are consuming one of these beverages, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to change my metric. I'm going to say it's a percentage of my responses. Okay, there it is. It's replotted. So it's taken all of that data. Remember, I have 500 and something responses, and it's sorting through that right away. It's pretty cool. It's also taking out people that didn't respond. So remember that sometimes people don't complete a survey, or if you've had a branching that's happening in the survey, people aren't going to actually follow down that path and complete the survey. Okay, so it's taking all that into account, which would take a lot of time to do in Excel. All right, what else might I want to do here? Well, you know, it might be nice to have this in a particular order, right? Meaning going from highest to lowest. So I can also do things like sort bar values. Right now that changed it so that it's showing from highest percentage consumed down to lowest, okay? If I want to see what's in other, I believe it lets you see that. You can actually see what those 22 responses were, maybe. Usually that's a write-in. Maybe I didn't give a write-in option. All right, never mind. Okay, how much water do you typically consume, right? There's really no need to represent this graphically, right? Basically, Qualtrics has given me some of the information that I might want already, right? So 488 people responded to how much water they consumed. They consumed water, and they told us how much. The average, the mean, was 58.81 or 59 ounces of water, and the standard deviation was 35 ounces of water. The minimum was 7 ounces, and the maximum, somebody was like seriously hydrating, bruh, at 200 ounces of water. I would seriously be worried about overdoing it at that point. All right. So, so those are some basics on how to analyze data. There's not too much more than creating bar charts that make sense, right? Again, I made sure that I didn't have a count here, that I had a percentage, and I did that by changing the metric. You can also change the order, and I showed you how to make a pie chart, okay? So those are kind of the big ones. In the report, I also did something called a radar plot. Okay, so radar plots are interesting when you have more than one or more than two factors. Okay, so two factors, X and Y, that's, I can see that three maybe in 3D if I make something 3D, but when I have, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensions, that's going to be tricky. Okay, so a radar plot might be some way to do that. So I can show you how to do that. Okay, so here I am down on that question. What is important to you in terms of choosing a container for daily water consumption? All right, and it's first giving me a bar chart here, which is not making much sense at all, right? I don't even know what these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s are. Okay, those are the rankings of each of these things. I'm not going to go for that. All right, so I want to modify this and do a radar plot. Let's see if it allows me to do that anymore. Simple table, bar chart, line chart, pie chart, breakdown bar. What is a breakdown bar? Not what I wanted. Actually, folks, I think the radar plot might be gone. All right, ignore this part of the tutorial. Radar plots are no longer an option in Qualtrics. What? Okay, so never mind. No radar plots for you. You could give a table in this instance. Okay. All right, so the big ones, guys, the ones we're going to expect in the report are pie charts and bar charts. I expect to see a good number of those. I want you to make sure that they make sense. Okay, again, making sure that you're using percentages and not counts, that you're not using a pie chart if your total percentage of responses is over 100%. Okay, so things like that. All right, that is about it. Good luck. If you need other tips, please talk to your peer leader. If need be, I can always do another tutorial. All right, good luck this weekend.